All right, friends, it's Timon. We're back with a new video. In this video, I'm going to react to our good friend here, Jeff Nippard, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, and gear slave himself. Jeff Nippard, like he admitted to taking gear in his video. Anyway, Jeff Nippard, the gear slave himself, says, addressing the controversy. Okay.
Most people try to figure out if someone is natural or not by looking at them. If they're
Yeah, good luck with that, but okay. Usually I look at their training and their eating habits. But, then again, you never know. I don't know. Depends. Maybe they're taking a tiny bit to fake it. Maybe they're taking a lot. Who really knows?
below the line, they're natty. If they're above the line, they're not.
But here's a question. If they're building sarcoplasmic muscles, right, which are not based on myofibrillar growth, are they considered natty? Are they considered fake natties, or are they considered real natties? See what I mean? We have two types of hypertrophy, myofibrillar, sarcoplasmic. What if they're just lifting and it's sarcoplasmic? Artificial muscle growth, non-contractile protein. Artificial muscle growth, sarcoplasmic. They're pump training. Are they fake natties because it's not based on myofibrillar growth?
The problem is people draw that line in very different places. Some people draw the line here at Will Tennyson. Others draw the line right up to, but not including, Simian Panda. Believe it or not, a lot of people still think that The Rock is natty.
Again, are these sarcoplasmic or myofibrillar? They say The Rock is natty? Why did The Rock lose all his so-called myofibrillar? If it was myofibrillar gains, how did he lose all of that in like 1 month? I've never seen. I don't think anybody who gained myofibrillar growth could lose it all in 1 month, bro. Unless, of course, man, you just absolutely stop eating for 30 days straight. I don't know. But it takes years for the myofibrillar growth that you actually really built to go away. So it was sarcoplasmic. It was fake, regardless whether he took steroids or not. It really was sarcoplasmic, because only sarcoplasmic could go away that fast. It goes away quick, just like the D-ball gains from the water weight.
And recently, millions of people fell for the Liver King scam, buying that his physique...
They fell for the Liver King scam? Nobody fell for that scam. Come on, man. You'd have to be stupid.
Came from his ancestral diet,
yeah, sure.
And not the $10,000 month.
Yeah. It came from his ancestral diet. Right, yeah. Everybody else is doing the same thing, but they couldn't achieve the same goals. Only he could, because he's a special human, right?
Monthly steroid cocktail. So it's understandable why so many...
Jeff is actually, he's a natty. Yeah, he's a natural, sure, yeah.
People don't believe influencers anymore. And it's also understandable.
Why would they, man? They're in the business of influencing. Are you kidding me? Give me a break, man.
Why there's so much disagreement about how big you can get without steroids, even within our own...
Oh, how big you could get without steroids. You could get really big without steroids. You could get really fat, bulking, or you could eat a lot of complex carbohydrates and pump train, and you could get massive. Oh, yeah, even naturally. You can get massive.
Community, people are not on the same page about this, and it's leading to some absolute dumpster fire debates.
The fake natural epidemic is getting worse.
Yeah, the problem is with sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is keeping that low body fat. That's the problem. So most likely, a lot of people take these cosmetics called anabolics so that they can keep that low body fat, but be pumped at the same time, sarcoplasmic. Yeah, like this guy right here, this Hussein dude.
Played a sport in his life and he just blew up like an IFBB pro. That's how that works.
So, in this video, I'm diving...
And these guys have poor genetics. A lot of them, they have poor genetics. I'm not kidding. Those are genetics. Just like The Rock. Oh, The Rock has good genetics. Where did his genetics go? He peed it out in the toilet.
Straight into the dumpster fire. And I'm taking 3 tools with me: history, science, and common sense.
Okay.
And using those 3 tools, I'm going to give my final answer to the question, how big?
Starting a business
final answer to the question, how big can you get without steroids?
Very big. You could get very big without steroids, providing if it's myofibrillar, protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown, you could get very big. Now, when it comes to sarcoplasmic, you could get massive. You just have to work out a lot of complex carbohydrate and pump trade in the gym, Borowski. Make sure that glycogen outpaces glycogen breakdown, and you will get massive. And believe me, people can consume a lot of complex carbohydrates because it is not nutrient dense.
Steroids are, for the most part, different flavors of testosterone. Tren is testosterone, with this carbon atom removed. Nandrolone is the same thing, but with a few less double bonds. And testpropionate, enanthate, and cypionate are all literally just testosterone, with an ester chain added at different lengths, which impacts how quickly it's released.
Yeah, but they don't have the power to micro damage your muscles for you. If you're not doing it, they're not going to do it for you. So they're not the catalyst. Steroids are not the catalyst for that growth. They don't micro damage muscles for you. Yeah.
Into your system. So the first step in our natty or not journey is figuring out when steroids
So
actually
you're not going to build any myofibrillar growth, but they will help to absorb more of that glycogen. They will suck it right in there.
became available. That way we can look at the most jacked guys from before then.
Steroids became available in the late 40s. Listen to the word, late 40s. That's when they were most likely, they say late 40s. They were available, well, they were already available in the 40s, but bodybuilding took it up to mid to late 40s. That's when the bodybuilders took it up. Like Steve Reeves, he was a bodybuilder in the late 40s, mid to late 40s.
And know with certainty that their physiques were achieved naturally, because the drugs didn't exist yet. All right, testosterone was first
Yes, the drugs did exist in the late 40s.
isolated in 1935 by a Dutch pharmacologist named Ernst Lequeur at the University of Amsterdam, where he took literally thousands of bull testicles, mashed them up into a pulp, and squeezed the testosterone out. By the early 1940s,
I don't know, apparently Nazis were using steroids, I don't know.
psychiatrists started experimenting with that testosterone as a potential cure for what they were calling male menopause, which is basically just
So you see, it was around 1944. They were already using it for menopause.
depression and low sex drive.
Yeah.
It actually worked too, but testosterone still wasn't publicly available, and at this point, no one
Yes, it was. It was publicly available in the late 40s.
actually realized that it could be used as a performance
Why does he show him there at 1944? He showed the guy there. 1947. Should have showed him 1947.
enhancing drug. It actually wasn't until the 1952 World Olympics in Finland that people finally realized that testosterone could make you bigger and stronger. That's because, out of nowhere,
Yeah.
Soviet weightlifters suddenly
It can make you fatter. It can make you big, put on weight. But as far as stronger, yeah, it gives you force production binding with the receptor. It gives you force production. As far as it's bigger, it's a byproduct that doesn't damage muscle fiber, doesn't micro damage muscle fibers for you to grow more myofibrillar growth. It ain't gonna magically grow it out of thin air.
and suspiciously took home 3 gold medals. And with that, the very first natty or not scandal had begun. A couple years later, in 1954, the bodybuilding world's misadventures with steroids officially began when Dr. John Ziegler went to the York Barbell Club in Pennsylvania and injected John Grimmick with his first shot of steroids. And the rest is history.
Yeah, they get all pumped up. It's a byproduct. It gives you this cosmetic look, cosmetic. So don't try to compete with cosmetics. That's like natural girls try to compete with these women putting cosmetics on their face. You just know it's fake because it's cosmetic, bro. Get it? Like this. It's fake.
So, based on all this, I think it's safe to say that in all likelihood, American bodybuilders weren't juicing before the 1950s.
No, they were juicing in the late 40s. Like Steve Reeves, 1947.
Which means that this physique from 1947
Oh, look, it's Steve Reeves, 1947. There you go, see?
was built 100% naturally. And In this photo, Steve Reeves is 21 years old at 6 foot 1 inches tall, 215 pounds, and what looks to be around 10.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like my early years. I was around 215, but he has got a very refined. I don't know. It looks just too cosmetic-y. His physique. So yeah, I don't know. Looks weird.
Maybe 12%.
That's not like massive. 215 is not massive. Like that's not a massive weight. But okay.
Body fat.
Now, he actually wasn't the biggest guy that I could find from this era, but I do think he was the most aesthetic. And the real reason that I picked Steve Reeves as an example of a natural bodybuilder from the pre-steroid era is that literally everyone agrees that this physique is 100% achievable.
Well, when you have low body fat, it gives the illusion that you look bigger. You'd have to stand next to him. So when these people have low body fat, they give the illusion that they're big because 215 isn't massive. But with low body fat, it could give off that illusion.
Naturally, right? Right?
Right.
All right, well, there are a few skeptics. I guess these people think that Steve Reeves,
Yeah, they don't think he's natural. Okay. Neither do I.
a 21-year-old from Montana, found a steroid plug before the U.S. Olympics team at a time when the U.S.-Soviet rivalry was at an all-time high. But you know what? Let's entertain the extreme skepticism and go back to before Ernst LeCure ever isolated testosterone. The most jacked person I could find from this era was this man, Eugene Sandow.
Okay.
To this day, this is who the Mr. Olympia trophy is named after. This
How
photo
much did he weigh?
was taken in 1897, 6 years before the airplane was invented.
Right.
He was 5'9", 185 pounds.
Holy shit. 185 pounds. That's not a lot. But yeah, okay. His height is 5'9". So your muscles aren't completely stretched out, right? All right. He's got low body fat. Let's see.
Around 10% body fat.
There you go. 10% body fat. So he gives off the look because of his body fat. He looks bigger than he is. Okay. The most jacked guy because he has low body fat. Okay, whatever.
And 100% natural. But the 18...
I love this. 100% natural. Fuck, man. How do you know it's not sarcoplasmic? 100% natural. Again, I'll ask this question. If it's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, right? Is he a fake natty because he ate carbohydrates? Yes, because carbohydrates is an artificial diet. It's artificial. So it's fake. So if you're eating carbohydrates and you expand the sarcoplasm to give off the illusion that you built muscle, then you are a fake natty because you're not eating protein. Because what does science say? It doesn't say carbohydrates, right, build muscles. It says when protein synthesis outpaces protein breakdown, that's when you see mass on your body. Providing the catalyst is what? Micro damage. Yeah, dude. And micro damage isn't that easy to just get. It's very specific. You have to put a lot of work into it. You have to come back every week. Your body has to be prepped to get damaged again. And people are impatient. They want to go to the gym and break their bodies down 24 hours thinking that they're building a muscle because they are eating carbohydrates. They're pumping their muscles up. So you think this guy never ate a slave food diet? So you think you think that Sandow didn't eat an artificial slave food diet full of carbs and sugar? Yeah, dude. So why did he have low body fat? I don't know how old he is here. Maybe originally he had very low body fat to start off with. I don't have very much body fat on my body. Regardless of what he eat. I know people that eat at the high heaven and they still have very low body fat. They eat a lot of garbage. So he could have 10% body fat, but his muscles are sarcoplasmic. A lot of it. It's not myofibular growth. Because didn't all you guys reach your newbie gain limit, genetic limit, hard gainer, right? So you think Sandow didn't reach that too? So how is he jacked? Sarcoplasmic. Fuck, because that's not regulated by anything. Hello.
Hundreds were a long time ago. I mean, gym equipment looked like this, and this, and okay, this is actually a pretty cool lab.
Again, what about gym equipment? It just breaks proteins down. It breaks your body down. Fucking man, this is just ridiculous. You want to fucking kick the shit out of your muscles using machines, okay? Beating the shit out of your muscles, beating them up day and night is not going to make them fucking grow.
Cool down, but the point is, Eugene Sandow was not training anywhere near optimally in 1897. He was a pioneer and a great early
He ate a slave food diet, I'm 100% sure.
proponent of exercise, but he once said that the best way to train was to use, quote, light weights, just 5 to 10 pounds, for 10 to 15 reps. 5 to 10 pounds for 10 to 15 reps? Now,
Well, there you go, see?
it's been over 100 years since Sandow gave those tips, and in that time, more than 500,000 scientific studies have been published on exercise science and nutrition. And
What about weights? They don't build muscles, bro. He used these light weights to do what? To pump up his muscles because he ate a slave food diet. Man, you're using some semi-heavy weight to cause micro damage. Obviously, those light weights aren't enough. You'd be doing like fucking moving your arms up and down 1,000,000 times to get a micro tear.
millions of people have pursued bodybuilding, professionally and recreationally. So, for as good as he looked, there's absolutely no reason to think that Eugene Sandow was the pinnacle of natural muscular development. The most
Whatever.
groundbreaking study on natural muscular development was published by
Of course, he's going to show himself because Jeff Nippert takes steroids. He's an influencer. He's got video admitting him taking steroids, ordering and taking it.
Corey and colleagues in 1995. The researchers went to local gyms in Los Angeles and Boston and asked people if they were natty or not. They got 74 natties and 83 enhanced guys to volunteer for the study. Then, after urine
Again, what about getting guys that are doing sarcoplasmic training as opposed to myofibular? Did you get any of them, Jeff? Just enhancing these guys. So if I get an enhanced lifter, right, and I get a natty lifter, and I tell the natty lifter, guess what? I'm going to put you on the potato diet, the complex carbohydrate diet, and I'm going to have you pump your muscles up. We're going to exceed that breakdown in glycogen so that you can increase the sarcoplasm. We'll expand it like massively, really rapidly. So did you do the test? Bring that guy in and bring this enhanced lifter. Let's see who outpaces who in size.
testing them to make sure they weren't lying, the researchers measured everyone's height, weight, and body fat percentage.
Okay, what about what they were eating and how they were exercising? Did you test that?
And hydrostatic underwater weighing, which was considered one of the gold standards at the time. From there, they plugged all their body measurements into this formula for fat-free mass index, or FFMI, which is basically
Okay, but did you check to see if it was sarcoplasmic to myofibular? Was it growth? What type of growth was it?
just a number that tells you how jacked you are. The bigger
Whatever.
the number, the more muscular. It's a really simple formula.
What? The more muscular? That doesn't make any sense. What the fuck did he say?
You take your body weight, subtract your fat
Okay.
mass, and divide it by your height squared. So
Okay.
it's really just your lean mass divided by your height squared. This is what they found.
Lean mass by height. Okay, all right.
Each circle on the graph represents a different person.
Yeah.
On the left are all the natural lifters, and on the right are all the lifters taking steroids. And on the y-axis is the
Okay. On the left are all the natural lifters. Are they moving for myofibular growth? Are they training for myofibular growth, or are they training for sarcoplasmic? And the steroid users as well, the same thing goes for them. Are they training for sarcoplasmic or myofibular growth? If it's myofibular growth, they can only eat protein. Now, if they're training for sarcoplasmic, we only want them to eat complex carbohydrates. All right? That's the test.
FFMI.
This city was just ranked by Low.
And on the y-axis is their FFMI. Remember, the higher the number, the more jacked. So this guy was the most muscular, this guy was the least muscular. There are a few really interesting findings here. First, it's obvious that the steroid users were more jacked on average. No surprises there. But if you look at the individual subjects, you can see that
Again, was it sarcoplasmic or myofibular? Why are they so jacked?
going on steroids didn't actually guarantee that you'd be bigger than every natty. Like
Of course not. See, here's the thing. Here's the test. If I take two steroid guys and I put one to do sarcoplasmic training, in other words, no protein, just fucking complex carbohydrates. There may be some protein in potatoes, but whatever. The point is, okay, man, it's like this. They're going to have to eat some protein, right? We can't just like take people off completely on protein. They need some protein, otherwise they fucking drop and die. So I give him like maybe 10% protein and 80% or 90% complex carbohydrate. Now, the other steroid user, I get him to pump train. Now, the other steroid user, I get him to eat 90% protein and 0 carbohydrates, okay? Maybe we'll just do it like that. Fuck it. We'll just do it like this. One guy on steroids is just going to eat fucking potatoes, complex carbohydrates, pump train, and the other guy is just going to eat protein, and he's going to do myofibular growth. He's going to come in, try to damage his muscles on the day, and go through a remodeling period. Now let's see who gets bigger, faster, and jacked. See what I mean? It's not so easy. Or how about this? Let him pump train the same amount of days like this other steroid user. Let him go into the gym and see if his muscles grow just by eating protein. That's a good one. See, here's the thing. Here's the test. So no micro tears, right, in the muscles. Let's see if those muscles will build without getting any micro tears in them. Just go in there 4 or 5 days a week lifting on steroids. Just exclusively eating protein. 0 carbs, 0 fake food. Let's see what the outcome is going to be. See the difference, man? That's the real test. That's how you find out. Guess what they found out? Guess what these fucking steroid users found out? See, they went into the gym every day lifting and they took protein. But guess what they found out? They weren't growing. Want to know why? Because they didn't get any micro tears. They were adapted to their exercises. So you can't build muscle without any micro tears, regardless of how much protein outpaces protein breakdown. 0 growth. That's why they started eating carbs. Then they started blowing up these motherfuckers. There you go. So can it be faked? Yes. You can fake it till you make it forever.
This guy down here was taking steroids, and he was still smaller than 86% of the natural lifters. Actually, quite a lot of the natural lifters were just as jacked as the enhanced guys. All of these lifters had an FFMI of 24 to 25, and while 14 were enhanced, 9 were natty. But I think the main takeaway from this study...
Again, I don't know what they were eating, but most likely slave food diet. So the slave food diet helped them blow up and create artificial muscles. They ate an artificial diet, building artificial muscles. Yeah, no difference.
There really was a hard cutoff for the natural lifters. Out of 74 subjects, not a single one had a fat-free mass index above 25. 100% of lifters with an FFMI of 25 or higher were on steroids.
Because you started them off with low body fat. Duh. Why didn't you bring in a fat guy? Why didn't you bring a 500-pound man with a body fat of like fucking, I don't know, 50% or something, 60% body fat? Then what?
This led the authors to state that only rare individuals, perhaps with some genetic or congenital anomalies, may attain an FFMI in excess of 25 without steroids. I fit their trend too. According to my latest DEXA scan, I'm 10.3% body fat.
Oh yeah, sure. He's the special one too with that. Okay, whatever, man. He takes steroids.
I'm 164.5 centimeters tall, and I weigh 155.8 pounds. That means my FFMI comes out to 24.4. So, is that it? 25 is the natty limit? Well, let's see. This is a list of all the pre-steroid era Mr. America bodybuilding winners from 1939 to 1949. In 1939, Burt Goodrich was the best bodybuilder in America. He had an FFMI of, 24.
That looks very natural. Yeah, there you go. Natural. Eating potatoes all day, expanding the sarcoplasm. That's one of the things that start taking off right away when you eat slave food diets. The sarcoplasm starts expanding when you start lifting. You start feeling these pumps when you go to the gym. You get pumped, and you love it when you're young. When you're a young guy, teenager, you start getting pumped and stuff. Remember that? You used to go to the gym. Then you'd walk out with your friends, or your lats would be flared and everything. You'd be pumped to shit. Yeah, because that's one of the first things that you get, the pump. You're eating a slave food artificial diet, so you're getting pumped up. I pump you up, man. Get it? Yeah, so it's artificial growth. It's fake. And most likely this dude here got the same effect. Just like everybody when they started out.
0.3. The next winner was Roland Essmaker. His FFMI was 22.6. In 1940, John Gremick won the title with an FFMI of 24.0. In 1942, Frank Late won the title with an FFMI of, there it is, 25.5. And then from 1943 to 1949, 5 other pre-steroid era bodybuilders broke through the supposed natty ceiling of a 25 FFMI. So yeah.
Whoa, the natty ceiling. Again, there's 2 types of hypertrophy, myofibrillar sarcoplasmic.
Yeah, even when you go to the best of the best, hitting it.
This is so boring, man. Jesus, whatever. They already had low body fats to start out with. That doesn't mean you're going to get fat because you're exercising and expanding the sarcoplasm, getting non-contractile, building non-contractile proteins, lifting in the gym frequently, going in. You'll keep that low body fat because you're coming in often to the gym, and then you're exceeding that breakdown in glycogen so you can expand the sarcoplasm.
FFMI of over 25 is rare, but it's not impossible. Let's go back to the Corey study.
Yeah, these guys on the right, 46, that's when steroids started coming out. Late 40s, that's what they said, late 40s. So there you go. Now on the left, I don't know what this is, 45, 44. Yeah, but whatever. It's meaningless. Doesn't matter. Yes, they got some low body fat because they're exercising the shit out of themselves. Jason Blaha is doing the same thing every day in his garage. He looks leaner, and then he doesn't look leaner. He does and he doesn't because he's shifting constantly. He keeps eating more carbohydrates. He doesn't know what he's doing because he eats slave food. He has other garbage food that destroys his physique. Because at one point he was looking a little bit better, and then he started looking like dog shit again. Depends on what you're eating there. But yeah, if you're working out every day and it's just a complex carbohydrate, most likely, yeah, it'll expand the sarcoplasm and keep the body fat low.
There are only 74 subjects here. And again, you do see this hard cutoff on the natty side at 25. But I suspect that if they had more natural subjects, you would have seen more people break through that ceiling. With enough subjects, you'd eventually see a normal distribution, more like what you see on the enhanced side. Just consider this 2017 study on Division I and Division II college football players. The average FFMI for an offensive lineman was 25.1. That was the average. A nice few players did go over 25. Now, while the NCAA does randomly drug test its players, some of those guys may have been juicing at some point. But I really doubt they were literally all juicing. And I think that, combined with the Mr. America data, it's pretty clear that while it is very uncommon, it's not impossible to have an FFMI over 25.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know. Like they said that bodybuilders started experimenting in the mid to late 40s, but the steroids were available already in the 40s. So I don't really know exactly when they started taking it. Who the hell knows? But does it really matter?
Naturally, Hussein Farhat, the fitness influencer from my last video, is 185 pounds.
Are we living in the past or are we living in the future? It's about time he brought up this guy.
5 foot 11 inches tall and around 12% body fat. He has an FFMI of, what do you think?
From the moment it leaves the
Has an FFMI of, what do you think? 25, 26, 27? Now, Hussein's FFMI was 22.8. Now, I know the issue with Hussein isn't his size per se. It's the speed of his transformation that's suspicious. In this Instagram post, Hussein said he went from 134.
Yeah, he went from bad genetics to fake genetics. He still has bad genetics. Look at him here on the left.
to 184 pounds in his first 3 years of lifting at around the same body fat. I know he looks a lot leaner on the right, but there's some serious angle, lighting, and photo filter tricks going on there, so it's honestly not a good comparison. Regardless, let's just say he gained 50 pounds of lean mass in 3 years. Is that possible naturally? Well,
Again, lean mass. You mean lean like real muscle? How do you know it's not sarcoplasmic? Jeff Nippard's making this shit up, man. There's no proof that that is myofibrillar growth. Okay, dude? Fuck. Myofibrillar growth is not easy to just get by lifting 5 days a week in the gym, dude.
let's look at it from a scientific angle. This is a table for realistic rates of muscle gain in men from my textbook, The Muscle Ladder, which I wrote before I knew
Now, this book is garbage, and I suggest people that buy that book, you got to be nuts out of your mind to buy that shitty book. That doesn't tell you, science tells you what builds muscles. You don't need that. Micro tears and protein synthesis needs to outpace protein breakdown. That is what builds myofibrillar growth. Now, sarcoplasmic is just based on complex carbohydrate exceeding that breakdown, and you pump training in the gym. That's it.
who Hussein was. I said that most men will gain 10 to 25 pounds of lean mass in their first year of lifting, 5 to 10 pounds in their second year, and 2.5 to 7.5 pounds in their third year. And I based those figures off this 2020 systematic review on whole body muscle growth in healthy adult males. So, according to my table, we're looking at a range of 17.5 to 42.5 pounds of lean mass gained in your first 3 years.
Oh, really? And that's all because of lifting weights, right? It has nothing to do with eating, right, Jeff? See, Jeff never tells you what builds muscles. He's going to tell you that lifting weights has some magic powers to put on 42 pounds of muscle. Yeah, whatever.
Hussein gained 50. So yes, he's
Yeah, Hussein gained 50 pounds lifting weights in the gym. How many people have you ever seen that lifted weights and built muscle lifting a weight without eating?
above the typical range. There are two possible explanations for that. One explanation is that he took steroids for the first year or two and then came off them before the blood test in my last video. That's possible. The other explanation
He did.
is that Hussein
He takes orals, probably.
was quite underweight
This is nothing. Well, the way he looks, it's not very much.
and seriously under-eating when he first started, causing his transformation numbers to be inflated. According to this 2008 study, average FFMI across 431 healthy Italian men
Whatever.
without any training intervention was 19.
DEXA scans can't distinguish between sarcoplasmic and myofibrillar growth. Just look it up at CBI, bro. I've done videos on this before on my old channel.
0.8. Hussein started with an FFMI of 17. That means at 5'11", if he had
He started at 17, okay. And he's at what, 22?
healthy, adequate nutrition, he should have been starting at 160 pounds, not 134 pounds. That means the first 25
He was undernourished and skinny. He probably started eating, for God's sake, too, as well.
pounds he gained were essentially just getting him back to a healthy baseline.
Yeah, healthy baseline. He was unhealthy. Let's see. 184 pounds isn't very much. So he was 134. He was really underweight, malnourished. 184. Okay? Just the low body fat gives the illusion.
And if you've been under-eating for years, weight gain can happen very quickly once you start eating enough.
That's true. Weight gain could happen quickly, but it's just garbage weight.
Especially if you combine it with hard training and a good genetic response to lifting. So, sure, he could be enhanced. He could be lying the same
A good genetic response to lifting? Good genetic response. You mean a good if you get micro tears? A good response that you're getting micro tears? What are you talking about, man? Or sarcoplasmic? A good response to sarcoplasmic, retaining glycogen in your muscle? What are you talking about?
way that Liver King was lying. Except, it was obvious Liver King was lying.
The question has always been, do you take steroids? Do you take PEDs? The answer to that is no. I've never taken steroids.
Really?
I'm thinking about doing it.
And at 5'6", 190 pounds, and 7% body fat, Liver King's FFMI,
It's time for the pro to get every
190 pounds and 7% body fat, Liver King's FFMI was 29. That's not possible naturally. Not to mention, he had the leathery skin, red puffy face, bloated water retention, and other obvious anabolic side effects. But to be fair, some
Man, he's on growth hormone. He's on everything, that guy.
fitness influencers aren't as obviously fake natties as Liver King. Maybe Hussein is one of them. I can't say with 100% certainty that Hussein Farhat has
Sure you could, because you're a fake natty, Jeff. Jeff is a fake natty. He admitted in a video he took steroids. He ordered and took it. He was cheating at the competition. You can see what he looks like, very cosmetic-y. And Jeff looks like these guys, and they're all fake natties, so it doesn't really matter. Regardless of whatever they're doing here, who cares?
never taken steroids. I can't say that, but I can say with 100% certainty that Hussein Farhat's physique is achievable without steroids. His blood work is normal. His FFMI
Is it achievable without steroids? Yeah, you could achieve it doing sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. If myofibrillar growth is too difficult for you to accomplish, then you can accomplish that physique, but the low body fat's going to be difficult. You're going to have to start off with a very low body fat. So you're going to have to go get very skinny first, and then start eating glycogen. Just buy a 100-pound bag of potatoes and start pump training. That's all. There, very achievable. There you go.
is normal, and his transformation, while suspicious, is possible.
Yeah. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is possible, yeah.
Common sense that humans can have very different bodies. The tallest man alive is a
But I doubt he built any myofibrillar growth.
Turkish farmer named Sultan Kosin. He's 8'3". The shortest man alive is Esfin Esfil Gandersvad. He's 2'1". The hairiest man alive is Mike Israetel. No, just kidding. It's an Indian teenager named Lalit Patidar, who has 95% of the surface area of his face covered with hair. 1 in a billion sounds impossible until you realize there are 8 billion people on the planet. Then it's not impossible, it's a guarantee. Someone is the oldest, it's Ethel Caterham, she's 115 years old. Someone is the heaviest, it was Khalid bin Mohsen Shari at a staggering 1,345 pounds until he recently lost most of the weight.
Well, there you
And
go. See, he's over 1,000-something pounds, bro. Humans could get massive.
someone is the most muscular without taking steroids. Julian Fitzgerald is 19 years old, and he's been training for 4 years. He's 203 pounds at 5'11" and around 10 to 12% body fat. I crunched the numbers, and assuming
He's most likely a fake natty. I've seen him training, man. He dropped the weight on his chest and stuff. It's terrible. His whole training is not based on myofibrillar growth. His training is really shitty, and it's just sarcoplasmic, and him taking most likely drugs to achieve it, because he really is is shitty.
go with 12%, that puts his FFMI at, here we go, 25.0. Right at the cutoff from the Corey study. If we instead go with 10% body fat, his FFMI is 25.5. As a comparison, what do you think Ronnie Coleman's FFMI was at his peak? Ronnie won the Mr. Olympia contest 8 times, 8 Sandow trophies, the most in bodybuilding history. On stage, he was 5'11", 290 pounds at 5% body fat. His FFMI was 38.5. I'm sure this goes without saying, but Ronnie was way bigger than Julian. Ronnie obviously wasn't natural at his peak. He did have world-class genetics, though. Like, Ronnie and his coaches say he was still 100% natural here at 27 years old.
Oh, yeah. He was 100% natural there, yeah. Sure he was, yeah. Yeah. He was 100% natural. When you look at the other natural people before the 30s or whatever and all that, yeah, look at Ronnie Coleman and look at them, yeah. Well, he was one in a trillion. He's the 1 in a trillion that is natural but can achieve a steroidal cosmetic look. Get it, dude? Yeah.
And given what he eventually became,
Boy, you really must think people are really fucking stupid, Jeff.
most of the bodybuilding world believes it. Now, in case you're doubtful, which I totally get, just check out this classic study which showed the power of muscle building genetics.
Whatever.
It might just blow your mind if you haven't seen it before.
The power of muscle building genetics. It isn't genetic to build muscle. It's fucking based on micro damage. And we've already gone through this in science. Why, when the people come back in the second week, this is an NCBI. when the people came back in the second week, they got much less damage. Why? Because one proposed mechanism of the adaptation process is an increase in sarcomere number in muscle fibers. That's how muscles are built. And so why are they getting much less damage? Because they're resistant from further assaults from your shitty workouts. Plus, muscles, when they get damaged, they have to go through repair and remodeling the entire week. So they're prepped the following week to get damaged again. Otherwise, the repeated bout effect kicks in. It doesn't allow you to damage them with a repeated bout until the end of the week when they're remodeled. Duh. And not only that, but they won't grow if protein synthesis does not outpace protein breakdown. Yeah, dude. So that's myofibrillar growth. So I don't give a shit about his fucking papers. And as far as sarcoplasmic, it's based on fucking glycogen loading, expanding non-contractile proteins in your muscle. That shit can grow really big, and it's artificial growth.
I'm not sure if this part is common sense or not. Maybe it depends on how long you've been around gym culture. They took 342 women and 243 men and had them train their biceps for 12 weeks.
Okay.
Then they measured how much their biceps grew using MRI.
They measured how much their biceps grew just from lifting a weight. They don't grow muscles, you fool.
MRI. The interesting part is that they all ran the same program, the exact same program. But just look at how different their gains were.
What gains? Weights break down muscles. They don't build proteins. They break proteins down. So how much smaller did their muscles get after they lifted those fucking weights? How much protein did they break down? Did they get a micro tear in there? Did they get any? What the fuck did they get? Did they break proteins down, or did they get some micro tears? Which one was it? Or did they get pumped? Maybe they were eating complex carbohydrates. Did they get a pump?
People grew their biceps by about 20%, but there were a few.
But what grew it by 25%? The pump? Or fucking inflammation? The pump? Or was it myofibrillar growth? Are you sure?
Unlucky subjects who didn't gain any muscle at all, and there were a few really lucky.
They didn't gain any muscle because weights don't build muscles, you dumbass. Whatever.
Subjects who gained 40, 50, even 55% bicep size while running the exact same program as everyone over here. There were
Whatever.
585 people in that study. That's 0.000007% of the world's population, and it still had a few freaks. So why are some people so surprised when every now and then
They had a few freaks. I don't know. Maybe the protein synthesis exceeded breakdown. Maybe they were able to get micro tears and the other people weren't. See, you have to measure that. You're not measuring these scientific studies. You have to go into depth. You have to have them to be in an environment where they can get these micro tears. And then you try to measure it out. The micro tear, protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown to see if they're building myofibrillar growth. Now, when it comes to sarcoplasmic, it could be anything. You're just lifting this weight, he says. Oh, they just did this thing for their biceps. Well, what do you mean they did their biceps? How many days did they do it? Did they come in once a week, or were they doing it every day? What were they eating? Carbohydrates, or were they eating protein? Or were they just eating carbohydrates? Or were they just eating protein, no carbohydrates? What the fuck were they doing? I don't understand any of his fucking tests. None of this shit makes sense. It's all garbage. It's complicated.
someone shows up with genetics like Julian Fitzgerald or Ronnie
Again, genetics don't build muscles. Oh, a guy that shows up with genetics, yeah, they injected genetics, plant genetics in them, like Ronnie Coleman. He fucking injected plant genetics. So are you saying that fucking asshole, this Julian whatever, showed up with genetics? So then you're admitting he's injected genetics in and plant genetics. Because genetics, they don't build muscles. What builds muscles are micro tears and protein synthesis. Fucking exceeds that breakdown. That's what builds it. Or sarcoplasmic, an artificial type of muscle growth, eating artificial food called carbohydrates.
All right, so how big can you get without steroids? Well, assuming you're an average male, you train
You can get very big. If it's sarcoplasmic, you can get massive. It's myofibrillar, you still can get big, but you'll never get as big as sarcoplasmic.
hard, you eat right, and you stay consistent, you should be able to hit
Or you can mix the two together, get really massive.
a fat-free mass index of 22 to 24. Maybe 25 if you stick with it long enough, and you've got some pretty good genetics. At around 12% body fat,
Oh my God, if you stick long enough, you get some pretty good genetics, man. Weights break muscles down. Has nothing to do with genetics.
at a 24 FFMI would translate to 165 pounds if you're 5'6", 185 pounds if you're 5'9", 200 pounds if you're 6 foot, and 220 pounds if you're 6'3". Some of you will be able to go above those numbers, and it doesn't necessarily mean steroids, but for most people, this will be around your natty limit. And if you're looking to maximize your own physique naturally, diet is absolutely crucial. My nutrition app
Look at what he's eating. Slave food diet. He's eating fucking cornflakes and pasteurized milk. Whatever, man. This is just bullshit.
Macrofactor uses science-based algorithms to guarantee that you'll hit your goal as long as you follow the plan. It's the app I use to run my entire bulk last
Look at the slave food he's eating. Look at the slave food he's eating.
year, and it's the app I'm using for my cut this summer. We've got more than 350,000 active users and
bet.
an amazing, supportive
He has 350,000 active fucking gym lifting slaves that he's recruiting. My God. Brain dead people.
online community with some mind-blowing transformations. You can try it out for
Mind-blowing transformations. Sarcoplasmic and maybe getting some low body fat. Getting them to exercise like crazy. Okay.
2 weeks for free at the first link in the description box below, or you can scan this QR code.
Well, hey, at least they're happy. It's like people that take creatine, right? It blows up their muscles and they're happy. The industry gave you what you wanted. You wanted big muscles. They gave it to you. Even if it is fake. It's just water weight.
Over here next to my head, just use code Jeff when you download, and that'll get you 2 weeks for free.
All right, just use code Jeff there, dude.
All right, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks so
2 weeks for free to fake it or make it. Make it or fake it. What a ridiculous video this is. To really measure these things, they need to go in real depth. And they did. They have scientific reports. They know that protein synthesis needs to outpace that breakdown. They know the catalyst to building myofibrillar growth is micro tears. And it's complicated. How hard you have to work at getting micro tears. And doing specific exercises and yada, yada, yada. And sarcoplasmic is a real thing. It's based on complex carbohydrates, glycogen loading, loading, eating carbs, and blowing up the sarcoplasm, pump training in the gym. Get it, dude? Yeah. Whether you're adapted or not to myofibrillar growth, it doesn't matter when it comes to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy because it is not constrained by anything. I don't know, man.
much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the
Yeah, I'll see you in the next video, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. That was just another ridiculous Jeff Nippard video. What do you expect, man, from this guy? He's such a fake natty himself.